Hey, fourth graders, I'm going to start to create my Alebrije. I decided to make mine part cat, part turtle, and part wolf, I think, is my plan. So I have my chunk of clay. I'm going to divide it into the different parts of the body that I'm making. So I'm just kind of going to rip off a chunk. I think this is a good size for a head. The body's going to be pretty big, I think, for the turtle. Maybe that big of a body, and then maybe a little smaller chunk for the tail, I think, is what I'm going to do. This is here for extra if I need it. I'll put it aside. All right, so I'm going to start forming my head of the cat. I'm going to maybe roll it into a ball in my hand. You can also roll it on your table. We will definitely wash off the tables at the end of class, so don't worry about those messes. You can use the soapy water to do that. It should be on the counter. So making a nice little ball. I think I'm gonna, cats usually have kind of a nice little cone, well, I don't know, triangular face. I'm gonna stick my thumbs in maybe for the eye sockets. And then here's the nose. And then the nose kind of comes under there, kinda. Maybe it's a little long. And then instead of attaching ears, I'm actually just going to pinch extra clay and make my own, because that's a lot easier than having to attach whole new pieces of clay. But it definitely needs some good cat ears because we wanted to know that it's actually a cat. Not too thin, or else you guys might remember what happens if your clay is too thin. Then the clay will either break more easily in the kiln or just be a little bit more delicate. I might also use my pick to maybe make the bottom of the nose. Ooh, that kind of helped. Maybe this part for its face, maybe a little slit for its eye. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. That. Okay, I know it's not done, but I'm going to keep moving on because you have work to do today too. Okay, so here's the head. I'm going to make a turtle body. I'm just going to make a simple shell, and by doing that, I'm rolling a ball again. I'm actually going to make something called a pinch pot, which you have maybe made in the past. You roll a ball. You stick your thumb in, not all the way because you don't want to make a hole, but you make a little hole like, or a little spot like that, and you pinch and turn, pinch and turn, pinch and turn, pinch and turn, and little by little it starts to form, pinching and turning, starts to form a nice little bowl, but upside down, it looks like a turtle shell. So that way the clay actually does look like a shell. The reason that I have this water here is for this situation. I hope you can see that. When the clay gets wrinkly like that, you do the 1 finger rule. Dip 1 finger and massage a teeny bit of water into those little wrinkles, and your clay will soak it right up. Too much water, and you might remember, if you add too much water to your clay, it becomes mud. And obviously we don't want that. The turtle shell looks pretty cool. I might tap it a little bit on the table to have a nice flat bottom. And then I could use this kind of fork looking tool to make some cool scratches and cool designs. I'm not going to spend too much time. Like I said, I know you have work to do. So that can be pretty cool for texture. Last but not least, I'm going to make a little wolf tail thing. Kind of rolling it into like a snake thing, but I don't want it too thin. And I think I definitely want some scratches in it to make it look like hair of a wolf. That texture is really cool. I like that. Okay. Now, here's the coolest and trickiest part, I should say. If I just kind of push these things together, It might stay together for like a second or two, or not at all. But there's a special way that you need to attach pieces of clay when you want them to be attached. So what we do is score and slip. Score with your pick, find the pointy end, and scratch or score into the area where you're going to attach it. I think my head's going to go right there, so that's why I'm doing it here. And what you want is to make it a really rough scratch and score with these little clay boogers. That's what I call them. I know that's weird, but that's what I say. Same here on the back of the head is where it's also going to connect. So it too needs to be scored. Lots of good clay boogers. Leave them on there. They help stay together. So this and this. If I squish this together, it might stay together for a little bit, but it needs one more thing. In between here, I'm going to put slip. Slip is in this little bottle. It's half clay, half water. I'm going to squish it together on that little spot that I made. And when I squeeze it, some of the slip kind of comes out the side. That's okay. And what I'm going to do to make sure it's really nice and tight is I'm going to blend this out with my finger. Blend this together so it almost looks like one. It kind of tricks your eye. It looks like it's already been put together. It looks pretty nice like that. Like that. See the blend? And then it's on there pretty solid. I could even maybe blend some of the head part into the shell, so that's really nice and not going anywhere. Okay. That looks pretty good. It's on there. Next, I need my tail. Remember, you need to score roughly. If you just poke holes in it, it's not going to do anything. You need to kind of be rough with all that clay residue, all that clay booger. Not just on one part, on the other part where you're going to connect it to. I go pretty quick through this. Little bit of slip. Magical clay glue, basically. Put it on there. Put this on here to connect it. And push. I'm kind of holding on to it so it doesn't collapse. Then same thing, I want to blend it to make it look like there was never, ever a separation ever. If it looks like, oh, sorry. So it looks like it was always there. Sorry, I really hope you saw that. I couldn't tell, I wasn't looking at my screen. So like that. And that's pretty good. So now I've made my cat turtle wolf. And now that I've combined it, now I'm going to spend more time doing more cool details with texture. Maybe I'll do some cool like dots and interesting things around it to make it look more cool. When I'm done, find a part of the bottom. You're going to find me, or if I'm not here, use your tool to make your initials. My initials are MD. And maybe you can see, there we go, MD, and then your teacher's initials, your homeroom teacher's initials. All right, have fun making your Alebrije, everybody. See you next time.